Hey everyone, Mr. Hayden here. So far in the most recent assignment, we wrote the equations, or we derived and wrote the equations for the function taxable income, federal taxes owed versus taxable income. Well, in reality, what you're more interested in is taxes owed versus net income, meaning the actual or gross income, I should say, the total income that you make. And this is where the standard deduction comes into play. So what the standard deduction is for someone who is single and filing the 1040EZ form is $12,400. So that means the very first $12,400 that you make is not taxable income. You don't start paying taxes until you pass $12,400. So that means really if we wanted to graph gross income, taxes owed versus gross income, we somehow need to take into account that $12,400 standard deduction. Well, essentially what happens is we're still going to have the same shape for our function. However, it's going to be shifted 12,400 to the right because this tax bracket doesn't really start at 0. It really starts at after you've made $12,400. So to make adjustments to do taxable income, the slope-intercept equation of gross income instead of the slope-intercept equation of taxable income, what we're going to do is translate or shift the graph 12,400 to the right. And every point on the graph is going to be shifted that much to the right. Well, how do you shift a function left and right? You subtract or add to the x variable. So what we're going to do then is we're going to adjust all of our equations by subtracting 12,400 from x. So this is, let's see, this is taxes owed versus taxable income. What we want is taxes owed versus net or gross income, meaning the total amount of money that you make. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, how do I compute this? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this you'd probably do this on paper somewhere. But the first thing you're going to do is write the existing equation, and then you're going to put the x in parentheses, and you'll do this for each of them, and you'll subtract 12,400. So that means we have a function that is going to be shifted 12,400 to the right of where it would have been otherwise. So now if I convert that into slope-intercept form once again by distributing, I'm going to get y equals 0.1x minus, and then 0.1 times 12,000 is 1,240. Okay, so that's going to be my equation of gross income, taxes owed versus gross income. Okay, so now I have a new equation. So I'm going to go and I'm going to adjust the equation over in Desmos. Okay, now the problem is, now that's the red equation, but why is it down here? Well, it turns out not only do we have to adjust the equation, we also have to adjust the range of where that equation is applicable. So that equation is going to be applicable instead of between 0 and 9875. It's going to be applicable between gross income of 12,400, and then what I would do is I would add 12,400 to 9875. So let me see if I can open my calculator. And I'm going to add 12,400 to 9875. So 9875 plus 12,400 equals 22,275. So that means this really needs to be 22,275. Sorry about that. I had a call come in. 22,275. All right, and there we have it. We have the same graph, just shifted, the same line segment, but shifted 12,400 to the right. Because we don't start paying taxes, taxable income doesn't start until you've already made $12,400. Anywhere, having a gross income anywhere between 0 and 12,400, we pay 0 taxes. You could actually write the equation for that, and that would be y equals 0 when x is in between 0 and 12,400. But we're not even going to bother with that. We'll just rewrite each of the existing equations. Okay, so how does that affect the second one? Well, the range, what that means is you're going to have to go in and add $12,400 to every value here that specifies the range for x. So like this is 22,275, and then I'm going to have to add 12,400 to 40,125. So 40,125, oops, not 85, and then that would be plus 12,400. Where did it go? 12,400. Nope. So that gives me 52,525. So I'm going to get 52,525. All right. Okay, and now I'm going to have to modify my equation. So my equation for the second one is y equals 0.12x minus 197.5. So if I shift it to the right by 12,400, my equation is going to be y equals, oh, actually, I'm sorry. I was looking at the third equation. I think it's the second equation that I'm looking at. You know what? 9875. Let me pause this video for a second too. All right, I'm back. So, so now I'm doing the second equation. So I'm going to do y equals 0.12x minus. So it's going to be, and I'll just do it right here. Y equals 0.12, and now I'm going to do x minus 12,400 minus 197.5. Okay. Well, to get that in slope-intercept form, I need to distribute the 0.12x and then combine like terms. So it's going to be y equals 0.12x, and then let's see, I need to do 0.12 times negative 12,400 and then minus 197.5. So let's see what that gives us. So I'm going to go to my calculator. That's 0.12 times, and then it would be 12,400 equals, and then I'm going to change the sign on that, and then I'm going to subtract 197.5. So I get minus 1685.5. So that means it's minus 1685.5. So that's my, did it not go? Let me do it up there. Minus 1685.5. I did 86.5. 85.5. Okay, so now I'm going to go to write my equation right here. So it's going to be y equals, oops, I'm sorry. Let me do Control Z. Okay, so y equals 0.12x minus 1685.5. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to Desmos and I'm going to make the change. So right here it's going to be 1685.5. 0.5. There we go. Okay, and so those are the first two equations. So your job for homework is going to be to do the same thing for the other equation. So that instead of having taxes owed, the y-axis, versus taxable income, it's going to be gross income. X is going to be gross income. So once again, what you need to do is go into your spreadsheet and you're going to make another column right here for that's going to be taxes owed versus gross income. And the way you get the equation is you look at the equation, the slope-intercept form equation of taxes owed versus taxable income. And you put in parentheses, wherever you see x, you put in parentheses, put it in parentheses, and then subtract 12,400. Then once you do that, you distribute and then combine the constants that you get, and that's going to give you the new equation of the line. So then you need to go over and in Desmos, you need to adjust the boundaries for all the domain restrictions. So what you're going to need to do is go through with a calculator and add 12,400 to each of these numbers. All right, and then change your equation right here. And then when you're done, you'll have taxes owed versus taxable income. All right, so hopefully that made sense, and that is your assignment for Tuesday or Wednesday, I should say. Modify your spreadsheet to add a column for taxes owed versus gross income. All right, so and you come up with that equation by subtracting 12,400 from x for each of them and then simplifying. Then you go in and you put your new equation where the original one was in Desmos, and you add 12,400 to every end value for the domain restrictions for x. All right, if you have any questions, email me, and I'd be more than happy to set up a Google Meet with you individually so we can go over this and I can help walk you through it. All right, cheers.